we did a train and then grabbed a bus.
When I was, oh gosh, 13, I took a train all the way from Chicago to New Mexico
Yeah, yeah.
and had the time of our lives.
Oh yeah, I love the train. I
Yeah,
love it.
I did too till it said $800, and I was like, ooh, that seems a little bit stiff.
Yeah, it does. Well, was that with um a bunk too? I mean, was that a
I think so. I'm not
yeah? You
100%
see, then
certain.
you get meals and everything else with that too.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, but George, as you know, we don't eat much.
No, not anymore. That's for sure. Golly, mom. Yeah, the last time we did train was the first time that we did it together, and I tell you, I planned that sucker because you can have up to like 6 bags, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, I on the trip we started at Galesburg, right? And we're
Mhm.
headed to Grand Junction out to West Colorado, and so I had for dinner we had grilled lamb chops. I mean, I had all the meals, and oh my gosh, anyway. So
Nice.
well,
Yeah.
tonight we're gonna talk about. We'll see if other people may have joined. We'll see if they're gonna come on board with us or not. But we're gonna talk about a place that most guys don't go, and we're talking about testosterone. But we're talking about the brain. We're talking mentally. We're talking brain fog. We're talking energy because the brain requires energy and it requires the energy and direction that the hormone testosterone gives. So it's not going to the gym, it's not extra muscles, it's not all that. It's this muscle that requires so much energy and no one ever addresses it, which is why we're talking about it today. So that's one of the big things that we're looking at. And when we start talking about it, Keith is a good friend, and we are kindred spirits. And John, if he gets out of the clinical, he'll come by. I've invited Dave and a bunch of other guys to come on board. We'll see if they come in, but every single day, every single day, men don't feel sad; they just feel absent, like a color's been drained out of their life. And Keith, when a man says, I'm just going through the motions, what does that actually look like in real life?
It it's like putting it on autopilot. You're not really doing anything you want to do. You're doing things out of necessity, is what I was doing. Very, the fun time wasn't there. It was just, like in my job in shipping is there was no pre-planning. It was everything was like reactionary mode
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't think far enough ahead, or it had gotten to that point where I struggled just making a plan for the day. And I was that guy that I'd show up a half an hour early just to get my mind right, or try to where you had your day ironed out. And it got, especially in the past few years, it had gotten so bad I couldn't focus. I was answering phones for a friend of mine at his shop, but right after I got super sick, and I would make his appointments. The problem is if I wasn't standing right next to the appointments, I'd hang up the phone and forget half the conversation.
Well, and would testosterone, doesn't always make it. It's not the sexual thing, is it? But it often makes us feel invisible inside of our own family, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's almost not so much with my daughter, but my ex, obviously struggles there and strains there, and you just you're there, but you're not, if that makes sense. You're there
Sure.
physically, but you're not there mentally to enjoy it or to plan not activities that came out
Sure.
a little
Well, I
wrong,
get
but
it. Right.
you
Right. No.
yeah.
Well, did it ever dawn on you? What this would be a recurring theme, but were you ever dawn on you that it had anything to do with testosterone at
No,
all?
not at all. Had no clue whatsoever until it started getting better.
Uh huh.
And I'll save that for a little bit later, but once, and I didn't even realize just how bad it was, because it's not like it just one day somebody walked in and flipped on a light switch.
Yeah.
It was so gradual that I don't think I still don't realize exactly when it started compounding and just getting worse and worse. I mean, obviously I knew my mood and what was going on there, but had no clue that everything was so tied together. And I was
Yeah.
never told any of that.
No, I didn't. We're never led that. There's such a stigma and a singularity of thought,
Yes.
and there's no education, there's no correlation. We're not given any kind of guidance on any of this kind of thing, are we?
No,
And
not at
so
all.
when it's not, you go into the gym and you're working out and doing all this other kind of stuff and you're trying to do that bravado, macho kind of thing, but it really isn't really the answer, is it? It has nothing to do with that at all.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And like you, I thought for years, that's just what us guys did. We were big, strong providers,
Yeah,
and when it's almost like being outside yourself, watching your body go through the motions and not know, anything I do doesn't affect it.
right. Yeah, exactly.
It's like
Well,
watching.
what about let's talk about specifically, let's go and talk specifically about brain fog. Um, it's that feeling of wading through wet cement. You can't remember your keys. You struggle for attention in meetings. And people say, well, it's just aging. But good gravy. I mean, you were seeing this when you were in your 30s,
Yeah, oh
40s.
yeah, yeah,
So,
early 30s.
if it's a 5-year-old grandson saying it's aging, that's one thing. But if it's your contemporaries saying that at 38, 40, whatever, you're struggling. It really is really it's biological fuel starvation, isn't it?
Yes, yes, most definitely. And I mean, I was forgetting things while they were happening. You just, I know a lot of people use the phrase lose your train of thought, but that puts it to a whole nother level where I could be having a conversation and with the snap of a finger, forget what we were talking about.
Yeah, yeah. What was the one of the biggest things you remember on in terms of a big major event in terms of just brain fog struggling? What are a couple of the events you remember?
I, my daughter's graduation, and it was during COVID, so it was a drive-through graduation, and I was getting to the point at that point 4 years ago where I would I literally had post-it notes stuck everywhere so I could try and remember.
Really?
I went from never scheduling doctor's visits to that was my entire social calendar. In fact, I had to buy a planner just to write it all down because there were a couple instances I couldn't remember when my appointments were.
Really?
I was double booking, and it's like, wait, something's got to change. I can't. and that's no way to function where you're constantly. And I was seeing there was a lot of times I was seeing 2 and 3 doctors a week, and you start screwing that up, it doesn't take long before your life's a complete travesty. You know,
And did you even think about it might be related to testosterone at all or anything else? What did
I
it relate to you for
I
you?
remember when I was laying in the hospital, George. I I had a nurse come in, and I had gotten out of bed. I don't remember getting out of bed, and it seemed like every night I thought I was in a different place. And I
Really?
literally looked at the nurse and said, "I swear to God, I think I'm losing my mind."
Wow.
And that and the nurse, God bless her, was completely awesome. She's like, "You're not losing your mind. You're just out of sorts." And I went, "Okay."
And out of
And
sorts is kind of soft talk for we don't know what to tell you, but you're getting
yeah,
old, you're losing your mind,
yeah,
right?
we're gonna tell you something to calm you down, because I mean I was pretty wound up, and to wake up intermittently and think you're in a different place and think
Wow.
you're doing, at one time I thought I woke up in the back room of a job I worked 15 years ago. And I'm like, I
Holy
could hear
moly.
talking, and it's like, well, I got to go to the bathroom. So I'd go to get up, couldn't get up. I'd wind up on my knees on the floor, laying against the bed, which of course, they come in going, what are you doing? And that was for me the lowest point that I had gotten to, where I literally thought I was losing my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I had lots of lots of little things that started look concerning me. And like a typical guy, stereotypical guy, I'm masking over them. Um, and I know that I didn't want to go down the path to dementia, but golly, bum, you start, you're talking to somebody and you lose train of thought.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking to somebody and you forget their name. Someone 24 hours a day. You could you have a history of them, and all of a sudden it's that kind of memory. And my worst story that I can always point out is the time that I left the house and came back to the house 5 times because I had forgot spaced whatever items that were all on the butcher block. I drove
That
out.
one go.
Yeah, I drove out, got 150 yards, 100 yards away, had to turn around at the T intersection, come back, get my phone, go out, and back up, turn off, then like come in. Oh, my briefcase. Okay, got it. Oh, come back, my drink. Oh, I mean, I 5 times.
My neighbor just did that this morning. I was sitting outside, and she left, and literally like 10 seconds she comes rolling back. I'm like, wow, that was pretty quick. She goes, "Can't go nowhere without my phone."
Yep,
And
and
like, I remember those days where I would just same thing like you, make a trip around the block, come right back, pick something else up. It's I could never keep a clear enough thought to grab everything, the first time.
yeah, and so if we have to jumpstart our brain every morning with 3 energy drinks just to remember our passwords, you don't have an energy problem. You don't have an energy, you have a biological fuel shortage,
Right.
and so it's not that you're not eating, because good gravy, mother of mercy, all things being small, you're probably snacking all day long.
Oh yeah.
So you got plenty of food sustenance. It's not that you aren't caffeinating and chemicalizing to try to find yourself and bring it back or get your energy going. There's a disconnect because of the combination of major hormones. One is testosterone, which is an early precursor. Low testosterone is an early precursor of insulin resistance, which is when the cells go like, we don't want anymore, we don't listen to you. Insulin can't pull it back in to the cell, so it starts to starve. It literally starts to starve. And when that happens, all the other functions start going on. And what also ramps up with this kind of teeter totter, if you will, is the hormone cortisol. So
Mhm.
you've got these three major bouncers not playing nice together, and they really combine to make goulash or succotash, right? Out of our brain. I'm older, so I mean, I understand succotash and I understand goulash. Most of the people don't even have a clue what goulash is, right? I mean, you're laughing, but you know what goulash is, right?
Yeah.
And so you can visualize that your brain is in a mess. It just is in a mess. So let's talk real quickly about, you know, about when we start looking at it, like the grumpy old man. Did you have a short fuse, or the people that hear their wives constantly and their husbands are irritable and snappy and angry and bad guys, and those guys are hormone systems. We always say the girls' hormone systems are they're cycling, they're this, they're the other, but we totally ignore the fact that guys, our hormone systems, we're depleted, that
Yeah.
we're unable to handle stress. Does that ring true to you at all?
Oh gosh. Over the years, it had gone from class clown, happy go lucky, and over the past probably 15 years, I'm thinking is where it really kind of turned, and I became that. I wasn't grumpy. I was. I mean, just everything angered me
Okay.
for no reason. It just my fuse got shorter and shorter and shorter, and it's funny. My niece, her daughter, nicknamed me Grunkle because I always looked grumpy.
Really?
And her other daughter came up, "Why do they call you that?" And I said, "Well, I really don't know." And she goes, "Because I don't see the grumpiness." And I said, "Yeah, you haven't known me nearly as long, but oh, I spent years where just, if I showed up at a buddy of mine's shop, it turned into just a, a complaint fest
Oh my gosh, real.
of everything. If somebody did, it was it was crazy to think because I was always that class clown, always making people laugh, and when that was kind of who I identified as is that guy, and once that was gone, it was like, I mean, and there's nobody you can talk to about it.
Right. Because you don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, you don't have a clue, and if you mention it to your doctors, that they didn't. I think I had my testosterone tested once in my early 40s,
Okay.
but that was all it was a test, and okay, it might be a little low, and that was as far as it went. It's okay, so I moved on until probably the last year and a half, where I started really taking a look at things and realizing, you
Did
know,
you when they did that and this was a little low or whatever? Did they ever go down the hormone replacement path at all?
Nope, not at all. Not at all. They said that we'll keep an eye on it, and that's as far as it went. I never got any results after that.
Okay.
So I went 15 years of noticing subtle signs that something was wrong, but nobody wanted to address it. And you know the old adage, sometimes no news is good news.
Yeah. Yeah, I live
And
by that one.
yeah, I
I
mean,
used to live by that one
yeah,
until
yeah. Now I'm extremely interested to know everything.
yeah, absolutely. No, when you start looking at it and we start talking about the transitioning of this fuel we're talking about, can have your hormones perfectly dialed in, but if you're treating your gut like a toxic waste dump, none of it matters. And we talk about common sense. And so, one of the great things about how we fuel ourselves is really when we start blending and changing some of the things that we do.
Yeah,
And we talk the moment about one of the solutions, and one of them is quite simply is just using the order of food.
yeah.
I mean, it's the simplest thing, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like tonight, I know I'm traveling in the morning, didn't want any dirty dishes for dinner, so I ordered a pizza. Now, I also ordered a salad, but I had fiber, then I went through a salad, then I had a couple slices of pizza. I'll be good, now for quite a while. And that, and I do wear a CGM,
Okay.
and it's nice. I mean, yes, it still goes up, but it doesn't, it's more of a rolling hill. It's not a mountain. You don't
Yeah.
shoot to the moon and then try and come back. It's like, not driving across Nebraska. That's flat as a pancake. But going through Southern Illinois, or where it's rolling hills. Kentucky. You get the spike, but it's not nearly as
It's
up.
going to go up because you are flooding the system.
Yes.
However, when we start building in the fiber that does this the satchel, what it does is it smoothens it down. It
Yeah.
makes it lower. It's more. Yeah, I would argue about Nebraska. I think Kansas is where the word flat has no meaning, but
Or maybe
because at
Missouri.
least in Nebraska they've got the rolling sand hills.
There you go.
In Kansas you look at one side you see the silo and Oklahoma. I think I don't know, but yeah. So the protocol, this the comeback plan, the protocol that we use really helps smooth things down. Now, just off to the side, with we just got done with the holiday,
Yep.
and how did you navigate the holiday with the barbecues and
Oh
all of
gosh.
that?
Again, I stuck to my food order. And I took yesterday, I think I took two fibers because I knew that 75% of the stuff you're going to be eating is not the greatest for you. And so, but I concentrated a lot on proteins. Started with my fiber, and then I concentrated more on proteins. And then I think I had a hot dog yesterday at the end of it all, and it's like, okay, I had my carbs dead last,
Yeah,
which again, but I was up and moving around.
sure.
Like when I eat normally during the week, I'll walk to the end of my street and back after I
Yeah,
get done eating.
yeah,
And if it's raining, I've got a under my desk little stair stepper thing to keep me moving. But at the party, you're walking around pretty much the entire time. So it kept my blood sugar. I think the highest it got yesterday was 125,
yeah,
which
yeah.
which even when I was trying and not knowing this, I couldn't touch that number
Right.
unless I was going. the opposite of super high to super low.
Right. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So like I made a beer can chicken.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, beer can chicken, but I also had 2 pounds of portobello mushrooms that I sauteed and do that, and then I had 2 pounds, almost 2 pounds of asparagus,
Oh, there you go.
and I had all that. I grilled all that. Other than the portobellos were in a skillet on the grill. But the one thing about the one thing on the odd side topic, grade school language talking. One thing about asparagus, at least your kidneys are working. you know?
Yes. Yes, indeed. Growing up, I never really liked any of that stuff. As I've
Right.
gotten older, I started incorporating more of it. And since I've reset a lot of what I was dealing with,
Sure.
it's even come on stronger
Yeah.
to where you don't realize what you were missing.
Yeah.
I think when I was young, it was all about the nuggets and the fries and the Happy Meals and as I've gotten older and learned a lot of these tricks and habits, I didn't realize what exactly I was missing out on, to be honest
Right.
with
Yeah. And like when we hear it all the time. I don't want to rely on a shot, right? Hormone replacements therapy.
you.
Hey,
Yes.
there's Dave. Hey, I want to introduce. There's Dave Witten. Hey, Dave, welcome.
Hey, I know Dave.
How are you, sir?
Doing very well. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing finer than frog's hair split 4 ways.
There
There
you
you
go.
go. And you are located in the great state of Alabama.
Alabama.
Alabama. And
I'm
so
in
I guess
South
you're
Alabama,
and he's
the
an
Florida
Auburn
side.
fan. And you're an Auburn fan, right? You're a War Eagle.
Me?
Oh God. And here's John's on too. All right. We got a
Oh,
quartet.
there.
We'll let John sing bass and I'll sing tenor and you guys just kind of join in and
Dude, I am tone deaf. You're not gonna want to hear me singing.
okay, good. We'll give John the tambourine on the deal, right?
There you go.
He gets the
Well, guys,
triangle.
so if you look at it, your truck's engine and stops making oil, you don't say, "Well, I just want to be natural and just drive it dry." You put oil in it, so it doesn't throw a rod. Replacing your body. What have you guys done to help refuel, re-energize your mental machinery? We'll start with John. John, what have you done?
Uh, what I've done is, start looking more into what boosts my cholesterol. Trying to fix my cholesterol because I never realized that cholesterol was a building block for your sex hormones. And once I learned that and started looking at the cholesterol, it's amazing how I don't need TRT shots no more. I don't need any more of this stuff that they say you're going to need the rest of your life because I'm actually producing testosterone naturally.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you did do the replacement therapy. I thought you did.
I
Yes,
I
did.
was at first. I had to stop doing it when I had the PIC line in my arm because that's when I got the blood clot in my arm, and the doctor
Okay.
tried to chalk it up as, oh, your blood's getting too thick because of the TRT shots, not realizing the blood clot was right where the PIC line was. But to me, it's pretty obvious. But according to the doctor, it's for the TRT shots.
Yeah, Captain Obvious, right?
Right.
David, have you ever done? When did you realize that, or did you ever realize that your testosterone was low and affecting your thought, or maybe you've always had great mental clarity? I know your
So,
story, so share with us.
so for 5 years, I had no testosterone. So, I mean, as far as into depthness of any of that, as far as live talking, I don't really go into depthness of
No,
that.
I get that.
But not to have any testosterone for 5 years, you can pretty much read between the lines that was there, right?
So how were you mentally with that? Was
Oh,
your
it was
brain?
it. Hey, when you take testosterone away from a man, what's left? I mean,
Cortisol?
so you know how it is, but as far as the Feel Great system, my first 90 days on the Feel Great system was completely different. And now I don't know, maybe I'm over 10 months in. Man, I'm 80 pounds down. And I recently had all my lab work done. And, you know, you, you feel the change,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
You feel the change.
Have you
But
noticed
when
your hair growing back? Have you noticed your hair growing?
no, my hair ain't growing.
Oh, like John's got more hair. I got more hair. Keith, we've given up on.
Yeah, I
I
had to, I was
did
thought about
mine.
getting some shades a while ago. That sunshine beaming off that head of his. I'm just going on. But look, my hair ain't come back. But you feel good. I recently changed doctors. Okay, we have a doctor that goes to our church, and recently got to know her, and so she was on and on and on and on about me getting my lab work done. I'm like, eh. She was looking for a booger. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I'm just being honest with the
Yep.
situation, and I knew that was what was happening because she was skeptical and didn't really. She said, well, I want you to put the proof. Let me see your lab work. I'm like, let me really think about this. So it took me over 5 months to really think about this, honestly. And so I said, all right, I'm gonna do it. So hold on a minute.
All right. We can hold
Sorry.
on a minute.
So anyway, so I let her do it. And well, I didn't agree or disagree. I just said labs in general. Hold on just 1 minute.
Cool. So Keith, how about you? How does it play in your world?
I'm back. Sorry.
All right.
You're good, brother.
So
Yeah, you can
I
continue.
let I let her do these lives. She called me and she said, your results is in. Come on in. And so I go over there. And now this is a doctor's office, okay? This is a doctor's office. She said, David Whitmire. She said, you ought to be shouting. She said, hold on, let me shout for you. She started running through the office. And I'm like,
Serious.
I'm not kidding. I wished I could have recorded every bit of it, but I can't record in there with her own. And I've done a lot of recording in there, but in a private room where she has an elliptical in there, but she don't
Okay.
like her in there. And so, anyways, she said, hold on, let me shout for you. She run through. She said, I've been doing this 29 years. She said, I've not seen a man's labs that's more perfect than yours. And I said, well, explain them to me. She went through 8 pages of stuff. She didn't just check one thing, but I didn't give her no limitations. She checked it all and she done it on purpose. She said, I didn't check, I didn't ask you what I could do. She said, but you didn't ask me what I was doing. So she said, I did it all. She went down every rabbit hole of lab work you could go down. My testosterone, all these things I can't even pronounce. And I did home health care 14 years and I ain't never heard of these things. She did it all. She said, David Whitmire. She said, look, 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 look. I said, what's that? I said, I ain't never heard of that. She said, your kidneys, your liver, your everything, your testosterone, your eyes, your back, your throat. She said, your ears. She said, everything inside of your whole body is as of a perfect human being. She said,
Woohoo!
are you telling me you've only did this one thing? I said, ma'am, she knows me. She's got to know me real well. I said, on day 7, my wife didn't have to help me get out of the bed. On day 14, I laid every med down. On week 3, all my skin tags fell off. And I said, on day 90, 56 pounds had dropped from my body, and I ain't never picked my medication back up. And my testosterone's 5 times as much as it was 10 months ago.
Congratulations,
And I
Keith.
promise you, she probably double and triple checked those labs too.
No, she did not. Guess what she did do?
Oh yeah.
Guess what she did do? She blotted out my name and she sent it to all of her pharmacist friends.
There you go.
Yep. There you go.
She is you just don't even know. She's like this. She said, I'm 100% unicity.
That's awesome.
So it's been a journey from going from not walking. Y'all say I'm out walking in my yard. I couldn't even get out and walk in my yard last year. I couldn't even get on my lawnmower. I couldn't even work for over a year. I couldn't breathe without oxygen. I couldn't walk without being completely bent over like this for months.
And
And on
when we first met, Dave, when we first met, you told me that you told me part of the story that you thought you were dying.
oh no, I done told my dad and my wife and my kids goodbye. That's the facts, Jack. I buried my mother at I was 10, she was 33. Listen, 9 people in my family I buried. 9 people on my mom's side. On one side, not on my father's side, on my mom's side. The doctor told me when I was 21 and a half, and right now I'm fixing to turn 44 next month. He said, you have inherited all of your mother's genes, not including all your dad's. He said, you will not make it to 30. At 21 and a half, I just started being I just, maybe like a 60 or 65-year older man, just, and started declining year after year after year. He said, well, we're going to medicate you until this happens. And so last February, the first Sunday in February, which was, over a year ago, I felt very, very bad. I was already real bad before that, about 5 months before that. And so I go to him and he's like, I've done all I know to do. He's like, there's nothing else I know to do for you.
And how many medications were you on at that time?
$5,000 worth every month.
Ooh.
$5,000 worth. I was on Manjaro 12.5, and I was also on glipizide and metformin. And he had me on so much because my sugar was so high, it would never come down. Hey, I'm glad you all sitting down. Listen, my A1C was 8.9. My blood pressure was 220 over 180.
Ooh.
I believe it.
My mind and my body, my insides were so sick. I constantly felt. I felt like let me tell you this. After I started, there's this thing called a DPA machine. Are y'all familiar with that? So it's like a medical machine. Like you can buy it personally, but it's like back 20 years ago, it was $20,000, right? So you can put it in your house and you can test the blood movement flow of how your blood is flowing, right? When I started getting sick at 21 and a half, I had a friend of mine that sold all natural products. And so he said, I want you to come to my house. I want to do this test on you. 21 and a half, my blood flow was of a 75-year-old man. That was then. He's dead now. I wish he was alive now, boy.
Now,
I feel better. I feel better now than I did when I was 17-year-old, and that is the facts.
Absolutely. You were more energetic than when I met you. And when we first met and we were interviewing and talking to each other, you were already an Energizer bunny.
I'm so much more than I was when we met 5 months ago. I've lost more weight. I've thinned up. My blood work looks a lot better than it did 5 months ago. My wife is down. Listen, my wife has joined me. 33 of my friends has joined me on this, and they've all seen miraculous things that the doctor said, I cannot change this for you. I had a friend from church. He said, I've seen you on the internet. I've known him for a while, from another church or whatever. And he said, I've seen you on there. Somebody said, do you know this man? He reversed his type 2. I said, sure, I know him. He calls me up. He said, I don't care what it is. Send me the link right now. I said, well, let me tell you about it. He said, I'll go ahead. I sent him the link. He orders before I tell him anything about it. He had irritable bowel syndrome, and his blood sugar was 300 to 500 for the last 5 years. He tracked it every single day. On day 7, he left the house. He only stayed on, honestly, I'm just being straight up now. He only stayed on the product for 2 months. His irritable bowel syndrome has not come back. His blood sugar stays under 100 all the time. All that's completely reversed.
That's awesome. And, with Keith, David, you were, when you got on the protocol and when you started on the comeback system, what was your numbers on insulin and how fast was that?
108 units of insulin a day, 6 injections. gone in 2 days. And I reversed my type 2, went from 7.5 to a 5.4 inside of 90 days. Lost 75 pounds in that first 90 days.
Woo!
Now I'm over 100. And in that first 90 days, I was off all 15 medication. I mean,
Wow.
I took, and I was taking a mountain. Nothing ever made me feel like I was gaining ground anywhere. It was kind of like putting your
Mow the
finger in the
backyard.
dam without fixing the dam.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, David, you should see. There's pictures of Keith. He just moved, and when he moved, he had, those gray tubs. He literally, you got a picture of it? Look at this. Look at this,
I got
Dave.
the actual tub. This is the actual tub that is full.
I love it.
I keep it sitting right here as a constant reminder of how far I've come.
Yeah. My wife told me to throw mine away. I said, "Oh no, that's my souvenirs. What you talking about?"
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So
Yeah, my
when
wife has went from 255, then she's down 202. My daughter's acid reflux, it reversed. It sure did.
Hey, you guys, I'm going to sign off real quick. I'll catch you guys later, okay?
okay,
Later.
thanks, John. So that David, I don't know if you know John's story and Keith's similarities, but I'll let Keith tell part of it.
We had a lot of similarities. We both had the foot ulcers. My first one was like John's. My third one is the one that actually I passed away on the table just over, well, a year and a half ago now, January of last year.
Yeah,
And
David, Keith literally died.
Whew.
for just under a minute, they brought me back on my daughter's gender reveal party. They called her when she was finding out I was getting a grandson. A half an hour later, that she was getting told that I wasn't going to make it.
Oh boy. And you're doing better now than you've ever done.
Oh hell yeah! And now I get to run around and spend time. I'm going up north here tomorrow
So
or
what did you
Thursday.
weigh? What did you weigh when you came? What do you weigh now?
285 and I'm 182.
Ooh, 182. You
Went from a
looking you
size
looking you looking good like me.
went from size 50 pants down to a 36,
Yes, I like it. Listen, I went down to a 40 to a 33.
and I went from a 4X shirt down to a large.
Yes, I'm in a large, but I was in a 2X because I'm a lot shorter. I'm really short. I'm a short man.
So let me ask you this. Let's looking at testosterone in the brain. Is your head David, did you ever notice that your moods were have you noticed a change in your moods from before to now?
Before, I was very irritable, just to be honest with you. I mean, it was just out of a drop of a bucket. Now, I'm ready to go all the time.
You're a happy man, aren't you?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
From sun up.
I never see you laugh or giggle.
When I saw David reach out first start posting information, I can tell the difference just in that between that and now. It's completely different, you know, which is, and like you and I were talking, George, I went through the same thing. Had no idea, but the fuse had gone from to.
Yeah.
It took nothing for me to get irritated and upset, and
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a great it's so common with us that we're seeing amongst us. Hey, there we go. Hey girl. Hi. She's doing the work, huh? She's on the mower. That's great. But we see how we improve mentally, how we improve physically, how we improve psychologically because I don't know David. I know David is has a strong religious background in
Can you
terms
hear
of
me
belief.
now?
Yep. But did you ever feel um like it wasn't worth being around anymore? Did you ever go that mental route? Did you ever get to that far away
You
that
already know those answers to those questions. That was a daily struggle.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was every day, honestly. I mean, the depression was on.
Yeah, there were
And
many
are
mornings I woke up.
what are you on any of those kinds of meds anymore?
I ain't on nothing.
Except for
Feel great
life,
system, baby.
life and the system, right? The protocol. We love it. So, guys, as we wrap up this, we got about 4 minutes, so we wrap this up because we fired Dave. We love having you on here. We go every Tuesday, and we go for 15 minutes before the events. So, in wrapping up, what's give? I'll give you a minute and a half to throw out what you really want to tell anybody,
This is
guys
what I
or
have to
gals.
say. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. And if you don't change it, your kids will definitely inherit it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
That's the facts, Jack.
yeah.
There
And
you
know
go.
know your worth, and don't let anybody tell you any different. That type 2 diabetes is a lifelong sentence, because I'm living proof it is not. Look at me.
All right, I love it. Keith, what do you got for us today?
You know, in today's age where everybody's depressed and anxious, and what you truly have nothing to lose. I mean, what if it can do for you what it did for George, what it did for myself, John, Dave, it and thousands of people around the world? You've got nothing. You don't have to live miserable all the time.
Yep.
You
And
don't
it's
have to on that dark corridor
yeah,
alone.
it really is. It's a silent epidemic of low mood, brain fog, and sense ends.
Yeah,
And it because it gets down to a worry, a concern of am I gonna be dependent on people? Am I going to go down and be around and someone's going to have to feed me, house me, do things for me? Do I even want to go through that? It becomes that depression is real. That anxiety is real. And flatline. I mean, Keith, you did.
yeah,
And we just heard Dave and we know John's story. I mean, and more than that, we've all done one thing. We said, what if? What if this works?
yeah,
What if I could feel better? What if I don't do anything? Nothing changes. So, the biggest thing that we want to impart amongst you is that we understand. We actually live this.
yeah,
We have had every emotional fact, every feeling
yeah,
that is possible.
yeah.
And, you know, Keith is literally living proof. David is living proof.
I had almost given up, to
Yeah.
be honest. It
And
was gotten that bad. And I thought I was going to leave my daughter with all the burden, which was unacceptable to me. I mean, she was 22 and a half, fixing to be a mother, and then having to deal with me.
yeah,
You know, I
that
felt
is,
like I it had gotten to the point for me that I thought I didn't do this because I necessarily I wanted to, but not for me. It was a necessity,
right.
and I've never been more thankful. Never felt better in
Yeah.
easily 2 decades.
Yeah. And for me too, I mean, I was so far off the scale. My
Yeah,
my
it made me look
my
like a non-diabetic.
yeah. And my blood was so far off the scale that, well, 834 fasting blood glucose isn't a normal number by
No,
anybody.
the
And
highest one
then,
I got was
yeah,
6.
and then A1C of 18.1. You guys, you and Dave are talking about high A1Cs at 8. At a decade plus on top of be 18 plus.
When I first found out, it just said greater than 14. That was getting it to 7.5 was 25 years of fighting and struggling and meds and injections and constant, and nothing could get it hovered between 7.5 and 8, to be honest, for years and years. And with this, it was like uh, within the first 2 months, it had dropped from a 7.5 to a 6, and then it continued to drop, and it's now down at a 5. When I officially reversed, it was at 90 days when it was a 5.4, but it's just continued to go down, and I've continued to heal faster, recover faster. I'm I'm back to being able to tell one-liners like there's nobody's business.
Perfect.
I mean, it's crazy.
So, guys, if you're feeling invisible, if you're feeling stuck or just flatline, stop waiting. Follow us for the raw truth on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, everywhere. You'll find John anywhere. You'll find Keith everywhere. You'll find Dave. We're going to give you the raw truth. we're not shaming. We're not
Yeah,
lecturing. We're not trying to be the smartest people in the room. We're not saying that what things are wrong. We're just going to say we literally have been there. Very, very, very literally. We have been there. And we know how you feel. And sometimes we're scared. Sometimes it's like, I've done this, I've done it. And I find that sometimes what I think, Keith, I've noticed lately, and I'm starting to make in my observational thing is that sometimes people say, well, he's just stubborn or she's stubborn. And you know what I really think it is? They're scared.
yeah,
They've given up.
yep,
If you think I'm just stubborn, I'm not gonna, oh, okay.
yeah.
Is it that really?
It's
You want
almost
to?
it's almost become a lifestyle where you don't know what you would be like if you were able to get past it.
Yeah,
So yes, you're staying stuck, but you're staying stuck in a mentality that nothing's ever going to work. So why even try?
yeah. If you've given up hope, give give one thing, one more try,
Yep,
and let's look at this and let's really see because it's simple. This isn't some kind of crazy discipline. It's a simple, very simple process. If you drink liquids, you can do this.
yep.
You don't have to go exercising. And some of you can't even get out of bed hardly or out of a chair.
I couldn't.
Yeah. And you heard Dave. Dave needed help getting out of bed.
Yeah, I couldn't even get in the bed because once I got in it, I couldn't get out. Even with a fully adjustable bed where I could raise the back up, I
Yeah.
still couldn't get that last. I was in so much pain that I slept in a chair in a
Yeah.
recliner where I could lower my feet but yeah, it was bad. There's
Yeah.
no sugarcoating that.
No, there's not. I mean, we're all different. And my wackiness is when I had, guys, when I left the clinic and I didn't know what my results were, they were 834th and A1C of 18. I was out playing golf. I went and golfed.
Yep.
and my phone's blowing up because they're trying to get a hold of me, and I didn't answer because I'm a good golfer. We just don't answer the phone. And possibly I was in denial. I didn't want to know anything. But I didn't think I'd hear anything for a couple days. And so that's when I walked into the clinic and they were treated like triage. I walked back out of the clinic. I figured I walked in, I could walk out. And I knew I needed to do something. And that's when I literally God led to the protocol, to this 3-step, what I call the comeback plan. Yep. But it works. And we have thousands of stories. So if you really want to truly give yourself a chance, an opportunity, okay, get hold of Keith, get hold of Dave, get hold of John, get hold of me. Follow us on the platforms, learn more. We have science calls where we have even triple board certified people advocating.
In fact, we're having a science call in about just over an hour.
In just an hour. We've got a science call. If you want the link, let us know. Keith, I love it. I love it. And have a great travel trip. I'll see you next Tuesday for sure. Yep. I'll see you on the daily calls maybe. Yep. But gosh darn it, I love you, buddy. Have a great day.
You too, George.